And good evening and welcome to the Queensland Futures League 2021. We've just seen the first batter and the start of this game, and that is lead off. And we'll bring that lineup, the defensive lineup, and first batter out there on that first pitch. So the defensive lineup, and we'll get Tay to give us that lineup right now. Defensive lineup is in right field.
Okay, right field is Ryan Woodrow, and centre field is Liam Taylor.
Yep.
Left field is Daniel Turner. It's very hard reading your writing, by the way.
It's not my writing.
It's your writing.
Shortstop is Lockie Wilson.
Shortstop is Lockie Wilson.
Third base.
Third base is Jackson Grounds. Second base is Dom French.
That's it.
And first base is Callan Van Hilst. And catcher is Jay Myers, and pitcher is Declan Stevens.
That's it. That's the starting lineup.
It does not help that there is actually not a diamond next to these names. They're just written down in random.
That's why I use the sheet that I do.
I see it now. Okay, there we go.
All right. So
we've had our first batter out, and they've...
that was Tyson Zamora for the Assassins. So Assassins at the plate, and the number 18 is there now, Ben Craig, second baseman for the Assassins.
So we haven't seen the Assassins play here at this field yet. This is their first time at Hendra.
They were here once earlier.
Were they?
Yep.
No, they haven't been here yet, the Assassins. Assassins haven't played here yet.
Do I stand corrected?
Yeah. This is the Assassins' first game at the field, yes.
I better sit down then.
The only reason is because they're, with the black uniforms, the new uniforms.
Okay. I thought they were first or second round with the other coloured uniforms, the old ones, the old unis. Okay. Top of the inning, top of the first. You haven't missed any of the action. You've at least seen it.
So Tyson Zamora is on first, and
He was out.
Ben Craig is on first, and Franco Natali is up to bat now. I'll get there eventually. Sorry. So we were talking about last week. Franco Natali has his brother on the other team, and Franco Natali's stats are amazing.
Yes.
Once we find them, they're here somewhere.
I've got them.
And there's Ben Craig with a stolen base, moving him over to scoring position with Franco in the batter's box.
We'll dig all of the data out, and that's the current as of this morning before today's games.
How exciting.
The standings, the rankings, the results, and player stats are all there. And I got them straight off the Futures League website, Baseball Queensland /Futures League.
Yeah, so with the hitting leaders over the whole division, Natali actually is third in the hitting leaders after John Lem and William Baker.
So Franco Natali stands at first after being issued a walk.
And stepping into the batter's box now with runners on first and second is Scott Cronin, who was quite well rewarded last year, doing quite well in the Division 1 GBL competition.
And as Matt and Tay mentioned, Assassin's first appearance here, and they are one out in the top of the first. Two runners on. Ben Craig at second.
Foul ball into the car park, waiting for the smash. No, not quite.
Just a bang on the asphalt. So Ben Craig is at second base. Franco Natali at first base. And at the plate, Scott Cronin.
Wearing the lucky number 13.
Some
people would never wear that, but...
Did I tell you I got married on Friday the 13th? How lucky is that?
That's
How
insane.
lucky was my wife?
And nothing went wrong on that day at all, ever?
No.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Well done. Some people just wouldn't do it.
And a ball past the catcher there moves our runners up to second and third for Scott.
She might be listening.
Oh, great. We definitely don't want to get in trouble.
I can only say good things. Besides, my son probably is watching, and he will pass it on if I say anything the wrong way around. I'll let you know.
So the Assassins are actually second on the leaderboard after the Lumberjacks. So it would be a really great idea today for the Yardbirds to try to give them a bit of a go, try to get up there. The Yardbirds at the moment are sitting at the bottom of the leaderboard.
So I don't think the Yardbirds are looking to give them a go.
I want them to have a bit of a try. I'm going for the underdog. Or
The Yardbirds?
The underbird.
Oh, my goodness.
You got to give them a bit of a go, but the Assassins might take the birds out and run with the foxes.
Boom, boom.
Oh.
Yardbirds, of course, in their new uniforms. They got ripped to
Huge
left
hit
field.
Out. Oh,
Man
centre
out
fielder
there.
came over. Now who's
Certainly
that?
did. Liam Taylor.
Takes a beautiful catch in centre field. Well, it's actually left of centre. It wasn't anywhere near centre field. Daniel Turner was almost over to the ball then.
Yep. Centre field took it, so it's a fly ball to position 8.
There's not really any wind out there tonight, so it didn't really hang in the air, even though it was quite a high hit. The wind wasn't taking it anywhere, so...
And with that sacrifice fly there from Scott, we have 1 run coming in and a runner on third base now. And we have Tim Preston in the batter's box with that first pitch being a strike there on him with 2 outs.
Oh, run scored, of course.
Yep.
I was looking for Ben Craig. There he is.
Mm.
He's in the dugout. He scored.
So he must have tagged up just
Yep.
as it was caught and run past home. So...
And he came from
Another one in
second. He
scoring
came from
position.
second, didn't he? Or was
No,
that
from
third
third,
already?
yeah.
He got there?
Yeah, he got over
Okay.
there on the pass ball and then scored on the sacrifice fly.
Nice.
Scott doing his job.
So we've now got... Is that Franco on third?
Yes.
Okay, so Franco's waiting to... Any excuse to get home now in scoring position. We've got the food truck out here today as well. So we've got the people in the stands coming out for some yummy food, chicken and chips and all sorts of yummy things out there. So if you're coming out to the baseball, you can have dinner.
Foul ball down the third baseline. Third baseman there is Jackson Grounds, as we said, and he's been playing a bit of cat and mouse with the runner at third, Franco Natali.
I just watched Jackson Ground play at the under-18s championships, the state titles on the weekend.
Yeah, some of them are getting plenty of baseball in.
They played 5 games over 4 days, and I think they'd still be pretty buggered after that. So they're doing amazing to be out here on a Wednesday night after finishing on Monday.
Yeah, as long as the pitchers don't get overused and their arms are okay, they will be fine.
Yeah, for sure.
The more the better.
It was a pretty hot weekend, thankfully. It was a great weekend.
And that's a ball there on Tim's. Just quickly going through our umpiring roster for tonight. We have at third base, John Proper. At first base, we have Michael Bates. And our home plate umpire for tonight is the young Braden West. Nice flowing manes of hair coming out the mask there tonight.
Big hit out to right field. Too much air, so
And
right
ball
field is
caught out there by Ryan Woodrow for the third out of the innings. Assassins put 1 run on the board, leading 1-0 going into the bottom of the first innings. And just going through the defensive lineup here for the Assassins. So starting out in right field, we have Brenton Outhouse. Sorry for mispronouncing the name. In centre field, we have Tyson Zamora. In left field, we have Eddie Crotty. At first base, we have Scott Cronin. Second base, we have Ben Craig. At shortstop, we have Billy Richters, who's just come back from the under-18 softball titles as well. Congratulations to Billy on making the under-18 softball team. At third base, we have Franco Natali. And our battery for tonight, we have Deegan Powell throwing with Tim Preston as the catcher, with first pitch being a ball there on Lockie Wilson as our leadoff hitter. And a nice exaggerated strike call there from Braden West. Makes the count now 1 ball, 1 strike there in Lachlan. And with that pitch there, the count now is 2 balls, 2 strikes. So as Tay was mentioning, some of these players have come back recently from the under-18 baseball titles. And as I mentioned, you also have someone like Billy that was playing in the softball titles as well. As Deegan gets that pitch in there for a strikeout. Nice punch out there from Red West for the first out. Brings up one of those players from the under-18 titles. We have Jackson Grounds batting here for the Yardbirds.
Sorry, I'm just sharing it. 1 second.
And nice quick pitching here from Deegan. We have 2 strikes now on Jackson. Ball fouled down the right field line into the Bridge Club over the back. Trying to hit inside corner there, just missing, calling to Braden West. So we have 1 ball, 2 strikes here on Jackson. Nice pitching around the zone here from Deegan, making batters be aware. Just missing on the inside corner again, goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Jackson fouls that ball off his foot. Those ones hurt quite a lot. Count still remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Just trying to walk it off and kick it off at the same time. Walk, kick, walk, kick.
Yeah, can confirm. Had a couple of them last season. Those ones hurt. Hurts if more the
Feel the
umpire
bruise
doesn't.
later.
Hurts if more the umpires don't see it as well.
Yeah, for sure. That one went thud though.
Jackson just fouls that one behind again. Count still remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Another ball to foul down the right field line. So for those watching home, similar to last week, we have our 4 cameras set up tonight. We have the one behind home plate. We have a first and a third base camera. And we have one on the scaffolding down the left field line as sort of a roaming camera. So you'll see all of those used for shots throughout the evening.
Yeah, so the behind home plate camera we've relocated again tonight. It's now our tracking camera for the evening. And you'll see a little bit of fence line in that, but it is a better angle for our Operator, fair ball right down the first base line. Turns the corner, he goes to second. Great run, stand-up double there for the Yardbirds. Sorry, not the Yardbirds, it's the others, isn't it? We're in the top of the inning again.
It is the Yardbirds.
It's the Yardbirds. Oh, yeah, the blue side, yep. I'm still mixing my head up with those colours. Yardbirds standing at second. Good stand-up double. He drove that down the right field side over the top of first base. No way anybody could get that. Great hitting.
It ended up in the foul ball territory, so it made him run out further to get it, really.
Oh, yeah, it rolled towards the fence. So there's a lot of work in that, but it landed fair and a great hit and good base running as well. Heads up baseball.
Now batting, we have Liam Taylor with Tim Preston doing a great job there, keeping that ball in front of him, keeping Jackson at second base.
So that was Jackson Brown now that's on second, right?
Jackson Grounds, yes.
Jackson
Grounds.
Grounds, yeah.
Yep.
He had a fantastic game in the finals of the under-18 state titles. So he got a lot of practice there and he's showing it here, definitely.
Deegan just throwing that ball to the high there. So 2 balls, 1 strike here on Liam.
Bit more action in this game than last week. Last week's game seemed to get bogged down from the middle and it just slowed right down. It was a real tight game.
Did indeed, yeah. And then it was the 5th or 6th inning. There was a couple of runs scored last week. But yeah, nice to see both teams getting base runners on here in the first innings with some hits. See if the Yardbirds can match the Assassins and score a run here in the bottom of the first.
It's so early in the season, like 4 games in. They probably just...
Oh, ripped to right field side. It's high though. There's a man out there in right field.
It's gone past him.
Got over
No,
him.
he made the catch.
Did he?
He
Went
got it,
backwards,
yep.
made the catch, going to the fence. Great catch out there by Brendan. Really good catch. Found the fence.
Brenton Althouse out there taking a great catch.
Oh,
Found the fence,
fantastic
knew where he
catch.
was, stuck his glove out and ball landed in
I
it.
think he actually used his hand to hold himself up on the fence. Good on him.
So, Liam just being robbed of a hit there, I'd say. So, with 2 out now, we have Ryan Woodrow coming in to bat.
So the lefty Deegan Powell throwing a bit inside there and they're driving the ball to the right side. This could be an out.
Oh my gosh.
Safe at second.
He really was very close to getting out then.
Jackson
Great, yeah.
Grounds got back underneath.
Great throw by Tim. I think if Billy holds the ball there, would have been a close play, but ball just happened to bobble out. Jackson gets back in safely there at second base.
So we got the lefty pitcher to the lefty batter.
Yep.
Bit of a fun combination there.
That's what they want.
Ooh. That's not going to help him, is it? Oh, it's a force of 3, but he decided
That was
to
high.
go straight to first.
Yep.
And
threw it high.
Scott Cronin there at first base, does his job, jumps up, gets the ball, lands the base, gets the out.
He could have tagged his own base for a, force the 3, but fielder's choice, I suppose.
There was only a runner at second, I think. Wasn't it only Grounds on his own?
There was, yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
was
there's
it?
no force at third.
Oh, sorry.
So I had to go across. He did throw it a little high, but a good stretch from Scott Cronin got that out.
So with that, the score is 1-0 to the Assassins as we head into the top of the second inning.
Baseball. It starts with a glove and a ball. No matter where you start, where you play, or where the game takes you, you're still just playing ball.
What a moment for Luke Hughes. What a moment for Australia.
Join in the fun today. Visit baseball.com.au to find your local club.
And as we come back now for the top of the second innings, with Declan still on the mound, we have Eddie Crotty coming in as the leadoff hitter.
A 1-0 ball game now, and stands to be an exciting game coming up out of all this.
So Eddie's another player has just been participating in the under 18 state titles. Eddie was in the Brisbane North team that was in the gold medal match and finished with the silver medal, losing to Brisbane Metro in the extra innings game.
It was so close. It was tie in 3 different innings.
They played 9 innings, so they played 2 rounds of extra innings. A bit unusual, but how did you get a result?
It was going so long that the sun was setting on the game. It was dark. But it is on Facebook if you want to see the gold medal game. I've got a comment here from Damien Gardner saying, "Go Jay" for the last inning.
So yes, Damien was another player that was participating in those state titles. He was in the under 16 state titles playing for Southwest. Is currently in a cast. Has fractured his thumb. Oof. So I send a get well soon message to Damien from myself.
Heal fast, Damien. But thank you for your comment. That's cool. If you're watching out there, please feel free to comment and send through your messages of the different players and get involved.
As Eddie hits that ball to Lockie Wilson, who just fumbles the ball.
Oh,
and
little
can't
bobble.
Quite get across the infield.
Could not find the handle on it.
Bit of an odd hop coming off the grass there into him.
Just had to chase it a little bit, but at least he kept it in front of him, and the runner gets limited to first base.
The runner was quite fast too. By the time he looked up, he was already there.
So with that, we now have a runner on first, and we have Billy Richters in the batter's box. Same play there. Another odd bounce there for Lockie Wilson as the shortstop. And we have a repeat there. Runner gets safe at first base.
Maybe a little bit of nerves, do you think, early game?
Yep.
And after bobbling the first one, he probably got more nervous with the second one.
Can happen in these games. So with runners on first and second now, we have the DH, the Assassins, coming out. We have Scott Fitzgibbon.
I think they'd nearly have to score them as error sixes, wouldn't they? You know, back-to-back E6s. Young fella will gain his confidence, though, I'm sure. It's early days.
And a nice curveball there from Declan. Just count at 1 strike on Scott.
Oh, a nice lay-down bunt. Did his job, moved the runners around into scoring position.
Bit of an unusual play to see your DH dropping a bunt down, but unexpected. Scott does a job. It works.
He's there because he can bat. He just batted.
Maybe that was the coach's. Do you think that was the coach's signal to bunt?
Oh yeah,
Without
absolutely,
a doubt.
absolutely. Yep, surprise play. Early in the game, they lead by 1. They could convert that into 2 and make it 3.
So Nick Bacono is the coach here of the Assassins. Quite well versed in different methods and that. So wouldn't be surprised if Nick's pulled that play out, put it on there, move runners over, brings up Brenton Outhouse as a number 9 hitter for the night.
1-3 in the end, wasn't it? Pitcher Stevens got that one. Outhouse with runners in scoring position and 1 out. Top of the second inning here at Bannister Park, the home of the All-Stars at Hendra. You'll see on our shot across the field at the pitcher that you can see some sponsorship signs there. There's great sponsors for this Futures League. We appreciate everything they do. You'll know that it's Alderley Hire, Reedy Towing, Inform Plastics, Flash Graphics and Elith Electrical. Baseball Queensland and the Brisbane Bandits fully supporting this competition of Futures League. Rips that. The shortstop can't get it. Knocked it down. Lachlan Wilson could not get it. It hit his glove. Could not take a catch. Wow, he's having a tough night, the young fella.
I think that one would go down. I think as a single to 6 because it was a really hard play. To get up really high in the air and just couldn't quite come down with it.
He leapt full stretch. And that's why I said at least he knocked it down.
All right,
So-
loaded bases now.
And we're back to top of the order for Tyson Zamora.
Loaded up his right and only one out. High fly ball left field, goes deep. Left field's underneath it. Daniel Turner takes that no trouble. Runner tags up at third and will score easily, standing up. Ed Crotty crosses the plate for the second run in the game for the Assassins.
That was a fantastic RBI for Zamora.
Certainly was. Did the job.
Both Zamora, Tyson and his sister both played in the state titles over the weekend.
Tyson didn't.
Did he?
No. Tyson's too old for that. But yeah, so also, his sister
His sister
played.
was there in
Hey.
the Queensland team.
Hate it when they say kids are too old. I'm too old.
So also with that sacrifice fly there from Tyson, both runners moved up. So with Benny Craig here in the batter's box, we have runners on second and third with 2 outs.
Billy Richter's at third and Brenton Althouse at second. Pitch outside in the dirt. Good job by catcher Jay Myers. Getting out there and blocking that. 2 out. Ben Craig at the plate, I believe. Big swing and a miss on a nice outside pitch. Declan Stevens just sliding that one across the outside edge and getting a swing out of it. Stevens works outside again. Couldn't get the temptation of a swing out of Ben Craig that time. Trying to protect this scoreline. It is 2-0 at the moment. We're in the top half of the second inning. High, wide and handsome on that last pitch.
So 3-2 count here on Ben with 2 out.
And he gets him. Throws that outside pitch and gets him swinging again. Craig down on strikes. Scoreline here from Bannister Park. Halfway through the second innings. Assassins 2, Yardbirds 0. And welcome back for the bottom of the second inning here. Jay Myers leads off here for the Yardbirds. On the mound, Deegan Powell is still up there on the hill. And the number 12 Myers, who is of course the catcher for the Yardbirds. Doing a good job, and that ball just gets away to the left-hand side there. So 2-0 scoreline, but of course the Yardbirds have just started to bat in the bottom half of the second inning. They have an opportunity, of course. Myers a very handy player with the stick. And not too far into this game, we'll have some guests coming into the booth to chat about their roles in baseball and baseball generally, and about the Futures League in particular. Couple of guests lined up. Another one down on the plate from Powell. Yeah, I think it is 3 balls. 3 balls, no strikes. We'll check with the umpire in just a moment. 3-1, I think he said.
Matt stepped out for a minute, so I'm doing the pitch count. So if
You
it's
certainly
wrong,
are.
sorry
You've got
about that.
all the pressure. No, it's a
here we
walk.
go,
So
it's a
there's the
walk
4th
now.
ball. Jay Myers base on balls to first. And you'll hear Tay in the
where's it
background.
gone?
Stop talking, Tay.
Sorry.
All right, so Tay looking after the scoreboard for us. And Kalen Van Hilst to the plate. First baseman for the Yardbirds. Van Hilst, very handy player in his own right. Let's see if he can move this runner around into scoring position and get himself on base as well. Powell comes to the plate again. Van Hilst meets it, drives it out to the right side, and chasing
it's a fair
to
ball.
foul.
Oh my gosh.
Gone fair.
And they have had to run right to the fence.
He has. It kicked and went straight
Fantastic
over
double.
to the deep right field corner. Over in the dark, actually. That's why Tay was calling it. She's on the left-hand side of the booth and has a very good view down there.
Yeah. Fantastic double hit. Moving that runner all the way around to 3.
He's at second, Van Hilst.
Yes,
And the runner, Jay Myers, stands safely at third in scoring position. So 2 runners in scoring position, and that brings to the plate Daniel Turner. Wow, what a start.
fantastic chance for them to catch up to the Assassins being 2-0. They really need these runs to come in now, and seeing they haven't got any out yet, that would be a great opportunity here.
Certainly is. Could tie the game up here with something to the outfield for Daniel Turner. Van Hilst with a double to 9. This one rips to 7 foul down the third base side.
Bounce on the infield, but unfortunately bounced.
And then kicked.
Yeah.
That's all right. It was going to be at least a single anyway. He turned it into a double with a good run, but the way it took off to the right side fence, yep, good. Nice deep long hit from Van Hilst. Oh, one bounces over the plate. Runner not coming. Was not alert. Gee, the runner up there, Jay Myers, I thought he might have been switched on as soon as that kicked. He may well have had time to get to home plate. I think he would have with a good set of wheels. However, the pressure stays on.
Okay, 1 strike, 2. Is that? I think
Daniel
I've got it
Turner
right.
now waiting for the next pitch from Powell. Umpire Braden West putting the signs up, doing a good job. The young fella. Full count, 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Full count pitch now with 2 runners on. High, wide and handsome. Leaves it high and outside. Does Powell. So that walks Daniel Turner to load the bases. Not necessarily a bad thing in this situation if they can turn a double play. He just needs to get a ground ball. If he can get a ground ball on the infield, Deegan Powell, then if they can get a ground ball, they can turn a double and get a couple out and try and shut down this attack from the Yardbirds. Yardbirds looking for 2 runs to tie the game up. Lockie Roberts at the plate now. Lachlan Roberts, his mum likes to call him. So Roberts steps in. The number 5 on his back. Players didn't necessarily get an opportunity to pick their numbers. They got their shirts allocated based on size, actually. A number of different sizes were ordered, and they got what fitted them. Good called strike on the outside edge. Nice pitch from Powell. Tim Preston behind the plate for the Yardbirds. Doing a good job at catcher. He's working pretty hard, actually, the young fella. Roberts
Fantastic hit.
lifts that one into centre. Tag and go is
Got
the
a
runner.
chance to tag up. That's it. So fantastic sacrifice, really, there.
So Roberts out on the fly ball to centre field. Fly 8. Brings up the first out. Runner Jay Myers tags and goes to score a run for the Yardbirds. 2-1 the scoreline.
2-1.
Runners now at first and second. At second will be Van Hulst. Daniel Turner at first. And at the plate, Dom French. Just checking those runners. So French takes a big swing and a miss at that one to draw a strike. So Powell gets ready again now. And there's Daniel Turner at first. Much of a lead in behind the first baseman. Playing in on the grass just in case of a bunt, a bit of a 50-50 play here. Middle infielders are back, as you would expect. That gets fouled off way down into the fence in the car park on the right-hand side. Big, tall back nets here at Bannister Park. High fly ball again down the right side underneath it. Right fielder takes the catch. That's Brenton Althouse out there. Gets that catch on the fly ball from Dom French. So French becomes the second out. Fly ball to position 9 with a catch from Brenton Althouse charging in from right field side. 2 out now. 2 runners still on at second and first. 1 run scored. Jay Myers. And at the plate we go back to the top of the order with Lachlan Wilson. Lockie Wilson, the number 10, left-handed hitter. And a throw over to second, trying to get that other out. Can't get it. A special guest coming up soon on our microphones when we get to the innings break. We will go to that. Lockie Wilson, meantime, is at the plate. Lefty on lefty. Big swing and a miss. Nice outside pitch from Powell. 2 out here, bottom of the second inning. Yardbirds trailing the Assassins by 2 runs to 1. Yardbirds at the plate with 1 in scoring position and high on that one. Working hard, Deegan Powell for the Assassins, just trying to get that out. Cannot draw a strike at the moment. Who wins the war of patience here? It's a battle between these 2 lefties. Lefty on the mound and lefty in the plate at the plate. And he walks in to load the bases. I don't know what catcher Tim Preston is doing out there. He's gone for a chat, I think. But Wilson walks. So Wilson at first, Daniel Turner at second, Kalen Van Hulst at third base. Loaded bases here with 2 out. Change of pitcher. Declan Powell comes out And we'll bring you that replacement pitcher in a moment. And welcome back to the action at Bannister Reserve. And it's Grounds drives one high to the right field side, taken by Brenton Althouse, and he gets the third out from one pitch off the new pitcher on the mound for the Assassins, number 9, Dylan Sipple.
And we have 2 more runs in. So that's exciting.
Well, they won't count.
Oh, of course.
That's the third out.
That's not helpful, is it?
No runs anywhere.
Glad I didn't put those on then.
That's all right. Don't put them on the scoreboard.
No, I won't put them on.
So in the bottom of the second inning, it is the Yardbirds scoring 1 run, and they make it a 2-1 ball game after 2 innings completed here at Bannister Park at Hendra. So we've got an innings break coming up. But in this innings break, we're pleased to welcome to our microphone on Sports Broadcasting Australia and the Brisbane and Baseball Queensland Futures League, Lee Brand. Now, Lee, you've got a wonderful title. I just love it. And I'm going to let you rattle it off. You're the Baseball Academy Director.
That's correct. Yep.
Let us know.
All right. Baseball Academy Director at Earnshaw State College in Banyo.
Yep.
So we started that program up a year and a half ago at the beginning of 2020. And so that's a pretty new program going there.
How many have you got in it?
We've got 40 in the program now from years 7 through 12, but
Wow.
it's a P to 12 school, so we also have another 10 to 15 that are interested in doing baseball at the primary school level. So we have a program running there as well.
Excellent. Wow.
Yes.
So you've not only created the academy program, but you've already got a pathway.
Yeah, so part of the reason we got it going at Earnshaw as a P to 12 school is we could get that primary school as a feeder into the high school for the
So
the
you
main
won't
program.
break the chain. As the year 12s graduate and move on out of that school, you've got the other younger ones coming through behind them, so you're backfilling all the time. So
That's
the
the
program
goal.
gets bigger and bigger is
That's
the
right.
plan.
That's the goal for the school. Yep.
Excellent. Other roles in baseball?
Oh, there are all kinds of roles. I'm a teacher, HBE teacher at Earnshaw. That's the main position there, and then the academy is put on top of that. I also I'm with the Redlands Baseball Club, so I run the grounds there at that and do some coaching and playing with that club.
It's a great facility.
Yeah, it's been really good. We've
Part
been
of
able
the
to
Red Army.
sort of.
You've got lots of fields there, and they're all in good condition.
Yeah, we've worked really hard on them. We redid our main field this last few months. So yeah, it's been good.
We've got a change of pitcher here for the Yardbirds.
So Cuffin Williams is the new pitcher.
And there's also some position changes in the field we'll get to in a second as well.
Cuffin Williams on the mound. It's one change
Thank you,
I
Matt.
picked up.
We'd be lost without you. We are squinting at the numbers. It's terrible.
Matt knows everybody, and I saw the change, but I couldn't reach over and see the numbers.
Wormsley playing first base. So we've got Ben Wormsley in at first base. I believe Daniel Turner is playing at third base now. Miller Bell is in left field as well.
Daniel Turner at third, and Miller Bell in left field. Lots of changes early. That's good.
Oh,
The drive to third, a great out there on the 5-3 play. Great throw from who is now Daniel Turner. 5-3 out on Franco Natali, I believe that was leading off.
I'll go back to my corner.
5-3 ground ball. A little cameo appearance there from Matt. Matt Glasson, of course, adding all the colour here in the play-by-plays. That would be the lead-off Franco Natali out. One up, one down. And that should be out the plate. Scott Cronin with that lucky number on his back. If I'm not mistaken, it will be number 13, and it is. So pitch missing inside there from Cuffin Williams. And what do we say? Welsh, obviously. A Williams surname? Obviously Welsh. Heritage, anyway. So I'll just cross these players out. Jackson Grounds is probably going to come on and throw, I think.
Jackson is at shortstop.
Oh, he's gone to shortstop.
Yes.
Okay.
So Lachlan Wilson.
Okay.
So they've had a bit of a reshuffle after last inning. I'm sure that the coach will have something to say about the few little errors there.
Well, that's a big rip with the bat straight to right field, though, who's moved across and taken that, no worries. Ryan Woodrow out there in right field takes a great high fly ball off the bat of Scott Cronin. So fly ball to position 9, 2 up, 2 down. The Assassins. This is good work from the Yardbirds.
I told you they'd give him a run.
They're going all right. And of course, we're with us is Lee Brand, and we were talking about all things baseball before we got interrupted by a baseball game.
Yeah.
What about that? So Lee, Redlands, you were talking about?
Yep, so I do some stuff at Redlands. I've been doing school sport baseball with Queensland for the last 8 or 9 years as well. So I've moved. I did most of it with Med East for the first few years, and then once we moved to Earnshaw, that was then moved to the Met North for the last 2 years. So that's been pretty good. And done the Queensland school sport for baseball on the older 14 to 18s, although we haven't really been able to do much the last couple of years due to the COVID.
It's been tight, hasn't it?
Yeah, so that's been unfortunate, but so some of the young players out here today have been coaching around some of them through the school sport, as well as the Earnshaw Academy. A few of them are there currently.
So this is not Tim Preston at the plate, is it?
Tim Preston at the plate, yes.
I've written his number down incorrectly.
Yeah,
then.
it says 21, but it's actually 12, but that's fine.
It's a 2 and a 1.
He was wearing 21, and then they got the jersey and he now put his number back on.
Cool.
Come on.
Okay.
They're just doing that to mess with us, I think.
And he gets a walk out of all of that.
So Tim Preston was a catcher for us in Queensland the last time we were able to go have a national tournament.
Nice.
So I knew him from that time, and the young man coming up, Eddie Crotty, he's at Earnshaw right now at our baseball academy.
Obviously doing very, very well. I admire your hat as well.
Yeah.
Not only the cap, the logo and everything is sensational. The colours are great.
Yeah, I love
Stands out, that gold ring. You know,
yeah,
it
it's
looks really good.
Yeah, they have good colors, got a good logo. Everything's going right for us.
So your Australian accent's working well.
Yeah.
Where do you really hail from?
I moved over the pond from America about 10 years ago.
Good.
So, yeah.
And you've enjoyed every minute? You will never
Every
go
minute.
back?
Never go back. No.
Only for a holiday.
I don't think you can right
they
now
won't
anyway.
let me anyway.
I don't think it's possible at the moment, but that's fine if you just don't want to go.
Yeah.
So whereabouts in the States? Tell us about home.
I grew up in Minnesota, which is in the middle of the states, up in the top.
So where the Twins are.
I grew up in the frigid north, so I'm still melting now.
A lot of Australians have played for the Twins organisation.
That is an
High
exceptionally
fly ball.
far ball.
Did he get
But
it?
he got
Yes,
it.
he did. I'll tell a man he did.
Unbelievable. That's the
Ryan
second
Woodrow.
really great catch, deep catch that he's taken.
Ryan Woodrow gets a fly ball in position 9 out there in right field. Sits Ed Crotty down, and that's a 3 out now, and they leave Tim Preston stranded at first base after drawing a walk. So no run scored by the Assassins in the top of the 3rd inning, and the ball game remains at 2-1. Assassins leading the Yardbirds 2-1, and we'll continue talking to Lee Brand here because we're talking about baseball.
So
Minnesota Twins, they have signed, if you look up their history, they've signed a lot of young players from Australia.
Yeah, they have. They have a lot of good young players. Unfortunately, we can't hold on to them because we don't have the money to pay them. But it's good to see a lot of Australian talent getting over to the States and playing.
Yeah, and there's a lot more now over the years. There's better programs, better pathways for them to get their more contact points.
Yep.
It used to be that, whoever knew somebody could hook somebody up at a college or something.
That's right. And
but now it's more formal.
Yeah, and at the college level, as a former college coach in the States as well, there a lot of college coaches are looking for players over here as well. So there's that pathway as well. So it's both the college and the professional pathway that some of these young Australians are able to get over there and get some experience with that.
Part of that, I think, is the Australian ethos is they get an opportunity and they work hard.
Yeah.
And they'll strangle that opportunity by the neck. They'll hang on no matter what. Whereas some of the local guys over there say, I'm going to college, I'm going to play ball.
Yeah.
They can't be quite as passionate. There's not much in it. Everybody loves the game. Everybody's passionate. But Australians got that little step more, I think, that they want to grip onto that opportunity they've got.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
And how did they manage to coax you over? Like, how did that come about?
Well, that would have been my wife that was involved in that.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I came
Mrs.
over.
Brand, you have our tick of approval.
That's right. I came over back in the mid-'90s. I was the first import player for Toowoomba Rangers, their baseball club. So that's where I met my now wife, and So,
she convinced you to stay.
Well, we came back. I didn't stay, so
Did
she ended up
love baseball
going
as well?
Yeah, she was a baseballer, and she ended up coming over, and we got married and stayed in the States for 15 years, and then before we moved back over here. So
good on you. Well done.
Well, thank goodness she did. Hey,
Yeah,
it was good timing overall, globally. It was good timing for you to come back.
Yeah, that was definitely. Yeah. So
I'll just interrupt for a moment. We've got Liam Taylor leading off the bottom of the 3rd for the Yardbirds. 1-run ball game. So it's important for the Yardbirds to try and make up that little gap there, even though it's only the 3rd inning. We've still only got 2.5 hours. So, good game, plenty of action tonight. Called strike there on Taylor. So I'm impressed with the number you've got going through your academy program. And they obviously feed into BQ programs.
Yeah, and the Bandits. So we've partnered with both Baseball Queensland and the Bandits, and Australia Catholic University. So we've got some good partnerships going there. A lot of our players who are in the program, the students at the school, they're coming from a ways away. Some a lot of them take public transport. The train line is right there, so it's good to we're in a good position for that. So they're coming from a ways. So. It's good that we had that many in the first couple of years. So we're trying to grow to be as large as Rabina. They have a good program down at the Gold Coast, so they've been around for almost 20 years.
You obviously communicate with each other and work together.
Yeah, we're actually just coming out of having the first ever Queensland School Cup, which is we have Rabina State High School and Runcorn State High School have baseball academies, and so along with us we had a 3-way school playoff, and so that was pretty fun at the end of term 3. So
I'll just talk about Liam Taylor. The out there on Liam Taylor was a pitch from Dylan Sipple that he just put a little bit more pepper into that one. He revved it up just enough, and he got Liam Taylor back into the dugout for the first out with a swinging strike. So the K2 on Taylor, brought to the plate now Ryan Woodrow, who is there now, the big lefty. And he meets that one, hits a high fly ball. Centre fielder right underneath that is Tyson Zamora. Tyson Zamora takes a great catch in centre field, tracked it all the way off the bat, got under it. Nice, cool, calm, collected catch, that one. 2 up, 2 down now for the Yardbirds, and that brings Jay Myers to the plate.
And speaking of Jay, so as we just mentioned. So Jay here is the program director at Runcorn State High for their baseball program. So we've got Lee commentating, and we've got Jay as his opposition coach in the box now.
Nice, and they've just played what I would... Oh, he rips that to left field side. It will fall clear well and truly. Turned on that one like 100 miles an hour. Great work. Stand-up double to Jay Myers. Wow, what a great rip to left field side. Double to 7, and now in scoring position for the Yardbirds.
Jay showing his players how to do it.
I was just going to say, I'm glad he's coaching and not playing.
Setting the example. That brings to the plate Kalen Van Hilst. Van Hilst has got a mean stick on him as well, so if he can drive that run in, that would tie this ball game up right here.
Kalen's one of our Earnshaw students as well.
Great.
So with the academy, I wanted to ask, how does it run? Like, obviously, it's working in the high school. Are you running it during school hours or after school hours, and how many days a week, and how does it work?
Yeah, it's a program that runs within school time as much as we can. So the 10s, 11s, and 12s, they have 3 lessons a week that we can do baseball with. Some of it's theory, some of it's prac. Most of it's practical. And then we have our 7, 8s, and 9s. Basically, they do, instead of their HBE class, they take the baseball class, and then we do the theory part for the HBE curriculum, which they have to do, and then we do baseball for the prac portion. And then we tack on at our school. We have school sport that's 1 period a week, and so we have that for their sport. We do baseball instead of other sports, and then we tack on some before and after school training. We come down to Hendra here a couple times a term to do some training because we don't currently have a baseball field on our school grounds, but we're looking for it.
That is a shame. That's like
Rabina got one.
Rabina got
Your
a great
turn
one.
next.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Rabina's got their.
If somebody out there wants to help, you know.
That's right. We're all looking for sponsors.
I gotta
all
say,
the time,
I think after hearing that, I would love to have gone to that high school. All of those lessons that you don't have to worry about those other sports, we just focus on baseball, would be amazing.
And I've got to say, the Queensland government have been very good supporters of baseball over the last few years.
Yeah, they've been good. So we're fortunate to have this field is so close to our school, but it would be good to have a field on our school grounds as well, like Rabina has.
Certainly would. Lee, it's been great talking to you. Thanks for coming in and give us an insight into the Academy program.
No problem.
Been wonderful chatting with you.
Yeah, it's been great.
We've just seen the third out here on the Yardbirds. So after 3 completed, the score remains 2 runs to 1, the Assassins over the Yardbirds.
Baseball. It starts with a glove and a ball. No matter where you start, where you play, or where the game takes you, you're still just playing ball.
What a moment for Luke Hughes. What a moment for Australia.
Join in the fun today. Visit baseball.com.au to find your local club.
And as we come back here for the Top of the fourth, we have Billy Richter's here at bat. He takes ball 1 there.
And I think you were saying that Billy Richter's, was it played in the under-18 softball? Yep.
Yeah, so the baseball titles date got changed. So obviously Billy had already committed to the softball before the date change. So he was, Sadly, there was a bit of a clash between 2 events.
It's the way of the world at the moment with sport, isn't it? We're lucky to get any community sport in. So, the old COVID is sort of knocking everything around, business, sport, the whole lot, communities. Everybody's rallying, everybody's doing their best, we know. There's a minority that don't want to play the game the way we would all like to as far as health goes, but if everybody gets on board, then we'll get out of all these lockdowns and situations and border closures sooner rather than later. Richter's walks.
So that brings up the bunting extraordinaire from earlier, Scott Fitzgibbon.
It was good. So Fitzgibbon steps in now. Big lefty, as you can see, big solid strong guy. That pitch from Williams, outside and a little high as well. So one ball there, another ball out high, same location. Catcher Myers wants to go and just have a little chat and say, do you understand what my signs mean? I'm putting these signals down and it's not to throw the ball up there. Let's have a chat and we'll work out where we're going to put it. So as I say, the catcher goes out and conjures up a plan with the pitcher. A little bit of scheming. Once again, I've got to make mention of the scorers. Scorers are doing a wonderful job down there in the pop-up shade tent, if you like, to keep the dew off them and any rain that might fall. It's not likely tonight. But we really appreciate you giving us the use of your scorer's box. The normal scorer's box is now a broadcast booth. And we've got a magnificent setup here. And it is outstanding for us to be able to be up here. We get a great view of the game. We're able to put all of our technical equipment in here. And which I mentioned, our production man and technical man, Nick McGowan Christie, doing a sensational job with all the equipment. He moves his office from the city out to here just on Wednesday nights to broadcast baseball and absolutely loves it.
So tonight's scorers, we have Michelle Bell and Janelle Dunstan as the 2 scorers for tonight. As the pick-off there from Cuffin just gets wild, we have Billy moving up to second base.
Yep, he didn't hesitate. He took off and got up there. He's in scoring position now. Scott Fitzgibbon stays at the plate. That was a good retrieval from first baseman. I think it's
Ben Walmsley.
Ben Walmsley out there now, yep. Did Kalen Van Hilst come out of the game? Daniel Turner moved from left field to third. We know that. Jackson Grounds went to shortstop. Miller Bell went to left field.
So Cuffin could be DHing. So Kalen, could be DHing because he still had that bat there last inning. So
cool. Okay.
I'll have to keep track and see where he's up to when I get back around to the lineup.
Yep.
My lineup's better placed at the moment, so we'll see when we get through there where we're up to, who's in there.
The good news is the viewers only know what we tell them. And he walks. So Scott Fitzgibbon walks to first. Back-to-back walks issued by Williams now. Runners at first and second. Richter's at second, Fitzgibbon at first, and Brenton Althouse comes to the plate. Or does he?
And we have a pitching visit here from Brent Ellis. Having a chat to Cuffin.
He'd be pretty happy with the Yardbirds' effort tonight, I think, thus far. So Umpire West going out to have a little bit of a chat to Brent Ellis and say, how long do you want this meeting to last? We've got to get on with the game. There's a time limit and an innings limit. Let's go.
So no change there. So Cuffin's still staying on the mound. Could have been a tactical change there for Brent, to seeing his pitcher and the bullpen a couple more times to warm up.
Gives him time to just reorganise and settle again. Just get reorganised within himself, regroup. Gives him just enough time to reset.
Yeah, because a lot of these guys are younger players, so So good job there from Brent, who played some representative ball himself. So going out, talking to his pitcher, give him a chance to calm down.
Althouse lays down a bunt straight back up the middle to go to the pitcher, and he gets the ground ball out 1-3 play, but moves the runners around. So out on the 1-3, brings up the first out, Brenton Althouse. There's no doubt that was deliberate to get that out and put both runners into scoring position now. And that moves us back to the top of the order.
And I believe this is Kalen Van Hilst is now the one that is coming in.
Okay. And down there warming up with the red cap on.
Yes, that's Kalen. So Kalen is now coming in to pitch in the place of Cuffin Williams. So as we have a pitching change here, we will have a quick break and be back in a second. And as we return here with Kalen on the mound, we have a few position changes as well. So Cuffin Williams now goes over to first base. Ben Wormsley, who was at first, goes out to left field. And Miller Bell, who was in left field, now comes into third base. And I believe... let me keep going. Daniel Turner is now at second base. And Dom French is now at shortstop. So Jackson Grounds has come off and is potentially warming up in the bullpen. So quite a few positional changes moved around there. I think I've got everybody. So we have, going around the diamond, I'll sort this way. We have Cuffin Williams at first. We have Daniel Turner at second. We have Dom French at shortstop. We have Miller Bell at third base. We have Ben Wormsley in left field. Centre field is still Liam Taylor. And right field is still Ryan Woodrow.
Because the centre field and right field have done an amazing job of catching all of the flies.
You're right.
They're the only ones not to move, really.
And there's the fan club.
That and the catcher.
Centre field and right field.
That's it.
Fan club.
That's it.
So lots of changes there. Lucky we've got Matt Glasson here.
Honestly, I'd need binoculars to be able to see that well all the way out there.
We are in the top of the fourth innings. Kalen Van Hilst has just thrown his first pitch to Tyson Zamora. So the number 8 at the top of the order leads off now with 2 runners on, runners at second and third, scoring position ideal with only 1 out here. Brenton Althouse laying down a bunt and getting out on the 1-3 play, but that's what moved those runners into scoring position, and that puts the pressure on for the Assassins to the Yardbirds in the field. You heard those fielding changes there with Van Hilst coming onto the mound. Gets up on the hill, has a good look in at his catcher. Jay Myers didn't change either. Does a good job behind the dish.
The Yardbirds have done an amazing job of really locking it down, but this is a dangerous situation with people on 2 and 3.
Yeah, well, they're desperate to get a win on the board and get themselves into that contentious position so that they can make a mark on this competition as well. They've struggled in a few games, but they're fighting tonight, that's for sure.
And as we just mentioned, obviously, with Jackson coming off going down to the bullpen, just like to give a small shout out as well to Will Polidano, who's down there being our bullpen catcher for the evening for the Yardbirds. So Will's one of the younger players coming in here to help out and be the bullpen catcher for the team.
Good
so
experience.
Just give a shout out there to Will down the bullpen,
Good on you.
helping
Well
out
done.
the Yardbirds.
Well done, Will. You always need a good bullpen catcher. Somebody's got to do it.
I think that was someone's windscreen.
That was the back of someone's ute, I think, not a windscreen, thankfully.
Maybe that little tradie ute over there, hopefully.
It's probably one of the players.
It's got a P plate on it, so fairly sure it's one of the players.
Oops.
They'll use their wages from this tournament to fix that.
Or a hammer and chisel. So Zamora gets on with a walk. There's been 3 walks. Van Hilst issues that first one for himself, but there were 2 before that issued by Cuffin Williams.
So loaded bases now. Dangerous situation.
With 1 out, so they need a ground ball on the infield to turn a double play. Double play opportunity coming up. If Van Hilst to get a pitch in there and get a ground ball, that would be ideal for the Yardbirds.
Just misses inside there, and we have Ben Craig here as our batter with the loaded bases.
Rest of the commentary crew going for chairs here. I'm not game to sit down because if I get in a chair, I won't get out of it.
I have to with my arm. I can't stand up and brace it.
Yep.
Otherwise, I would be standing up like you are, Harrow.
You're working hard on rehab?
Slowly getting there. Staying away from baseball fields much. As I was saying to Taylor, I was at the state titles yesterday and a fair ball came up to me and I picked it up. And my first reaction was to try and throw it back with my right arm. And I got to it halfway. I went, no, can't go to that. I threw it back left-handed.
Yeah, you hid very well from my filming of the grand final on Monday. If I had seen you, I would have dragged you down. You knew it. That's why you were hiding.
Could have got a candid shot of him.
Strike 3 there on the outside corner for Kalen. Gets us the second out on Ben. I did walk past and say hello because I said hello to the person Tay was commentary with. So you will, if you watch the commentary, you will hear someone say hello to me. So there was confirmation that I was there. But I walked away very quickly to not be on the microphone.
You did it well in mid-conversation. I couldn't grab you.
That was on purpose. And strike 1 there on Franco Natale.
Yep, that's him. The number 19. Clearly in shot.
So, ultimate would be going for a double play right now. That would be the
they've
ultimate.
got 2
They've
out
got 2
already.
out.
They only need 1 more.
There you go. Safe to first then, hey?
Any out, anywhere.
Any out, anywhere. Any base.
Fly ball, ground ball, anything.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just need to shut it down. With loaded bases.
Natali turned his cheek then. Did you see that? He turned it like, how dare you throw that so close to my face?
So 2 balls, 1 strike here.
There's another one.
It was close.
It's called chin music. The plan with that from Van Hilst is to back him off the plate
Yeah.
and the next pitch goes outside.
Yeah.
Put him further back in the batter's box, make him swing at an outside pitch and get him out swinging.
Let's see. if
Little
it
chin
works.
music backs him up usually.
Oh,
He tried again on the hands, but it did not work. Walks a
Ooh.
run. That's dangerous.
yeah.
So Natali walks, and that walks the run in for Billy Richters. Very patient at bat from Richters, who led off with a walk. So they go ahead 3 runs to 1 now, the Assassins. Still loaded.
Favourite number 13 coming up.
Certainly is. Fitzgibbon
For all
at
those-
third.
Oh. It's really high. There's three players.
Scott Cronin, they've spilled it. It's foul ball.
Yeah, Daniel Turner, nice diving attempt there. Couldn't quite get there, so foul ball.
It would have been right in the lights too.
Three
it was
players
coming straight
underneath
down.
it. Initially, it would be a second baseman's cover, that one. Who gets priority? The outfielder can call him off if he wants. But the three of them held a little conference there, put the kettle on, had a little cup of tea and a bicky.
So a couple of positions out of play there. So players out of position. So obviously Cuffin's normally playing pitcher or shortstop / third baseman.
Yep.
And I was told last week that Daniel Turner is normally a catcher. So you got a couple of players out of position, but they did a really good job there getting over and making an attempt on that. As Scott, with his telltale swing, swings over top of that one for strike 2.
Now, all the aforesaid players are now utilities.
Yes.
They can play anywhere. The number 13, Cronin, at the plate now with loaded bases.
And Scott strikes out there for the third out. So Assassins only get the 1 run in the innings, leave the bases loaded. Score remains 3-1 to the Assassins as we go into the bottom of the 4th innings.
Baseball. It starts with a glove and a ball. No matter where you start, where you play, or where the game takes you, you're still just playing ball.
What a moment for Luke Hughes. What a moment for Australia.
Join in the fun today. Visit baseball.com.au to find your local club.
And as we return here for the bottom of the 4th innings, we still have Dylan Sipple on the mound, and we have Daniel Turner as our first batter.
Foul ball over the back fence. Into the
Bushes
stadium.
behind.
Yeah. People in the stadium were watching closely.
So yeah, catcher Tim Preston looked straight up there, looked straight in lights, and had no idea where that ball went. So I can't see any position changes, so the Assassins are still as started for their positions, as we have 1 strike here on Dylan Sipple. On Daniel Turner.
Wow, fantastic hit out that way. Is it going to be foul? Yes.
Absolutely.
Would have been great if it had been.
Disappeared into the darkness of the bullpen.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to swing the bat. He's just shown that.
Brilliant.
2 long, hard-hit foul balls. If he gets one clear, look out. He tried to milk a walk out of that. I don't know what the count was, but he walked anyway.
2 strikes there. Nice curveball from Dylan. Gets the first out of the innings and brings up our now first baseman, Cuffin Williams.
Strange on that one where Turner didn't even offer a defence on it. He just stood and watched it through, hoping for the best. But standing K for Daniel Turner.
So Cuffin
This is
Williams
Cuffin,
is
isn't it?
batting
Yep.
here instead of Lachlan Roberts.
Fantastic Huge hit out to left field. Back to the fence.
Yep, rolled into the base of the fence in left field side.
Nice, solid double.
Slides into second base, does Williams. Probably could have stood up, but he slid in just to be sure. Oh no, he's not Irish. Double to 7. So Williams now in scoring position and brings to the plate Dom French. As Matt said, Dom French is now the shortstop for the Yardbirds. Little tip into the back net.
Until he gets moved somewhere next innings.
Yeah, I think the Assassins are playing really well, so they're keeping their positions, right? So the Yardbirds are still, I think, trying to find their strengths.
Their combination.
Yeah, their combination.
Well, they had
their
a problem at
strengths.
shortstop they had to try and rectify. And then they need Jackson Grounds probably on the mound later on.
Yeah, so a couple of pitching changes for him have shifted around where the players are. So ball hit down the right field line, and Scott Cronin as the first baseman goes over and gets that. Scott there showing off some of the reasons why he won the Division 1 MVP award last season.
His hands up going, yeah.
Scott is also quite a character, as you saw there, him running with his hands in the air.
Yeah.
He was
He
making
ran
sure
back
the
the
umpires
whole
knew
way.
he had the ball as well.
Yeah.
And also that can also be an indication that he wants time called because of what he just had to do.
So this is now our new hitter. I believe this is Miller Bell batting now in place of Lachlan Wilson.
Miller Bell played on the weekend, did some great hits, and was in the gold medal.
He was the third pitcher for Brisbane North in the gold medal game, yes. There's a few of those players out actually. So Ben Wormsley is also a position player that pitched for Brisbane North.
And I heard only a few days before the state titles, he's been signed to Brisbane Bandits Futures. Is that right?
I haven't heard that, so I can't confirm or deny that. But
Well, I've taken photos with him with the media, so I can tell you that it's definitely happened. It's very exciting for him.
And Miller strikes out there for the third out of the innings. So score remains 3-1. Yardbirds can't quite get Cuffin in from second base. So as we return here for the top of the fifth innings, just like to also give a small shout out. So our first base coach here for the Assassins is Keith Land. He was recently awarded the best sports coach for Redcliffe. So there's a write-up on the Redcliffe Padres Facebook page about Keith. So Landy is quite well known across the Brisbane North area. So just a shout out here to Landy, who's currently the first base coach here for the Assassins. And we have coming in to bat now, we have Tim Preston, with Kalen still on the mound. Ball missing inside, the first pitch there to Tim.
So Kalen Van Hilst came in the middle of the fourth innings, the top of the fourth, with one out and runners on base. He managed to get the other two outs, and no runs scored against Van Hilst. So really that was his warm-up, I would say. Seriously, that opportunity he had in the fourth, he should be pretty right to go now in this top of the fifth. And once warmed up properly, pitchers do well. Their selections are good, and he works with Myers in the at the plate. But they do walk the lead off, Tim Preston. Maybe they just agree to get him later on at second.
So that should bring up our left fielder. We have Ed Crotty. So as mentioned there before, Ed is currently at Earnshaw with Lee, who was here for the interview just before.
Good chat with Lee Brand. Enjoyed that, and seems like he's dedicated to his program and running a very good program.
Isn't it? So I semi-coached with Lee. So Lee had the open team at Med East in 2019. I had the junior team. So both went up to Cairns together, those two tournaments. And I've also played against Lee in club ball.
Excellent.
So I had a nice chance plus two of us.
Does he play for Redlands?
Yes, he plays for Redlands. He was the catcher for their Div 4 team last year. I was the catcher for Pine Hill. So we had a nice battle against each other. As we have a ball get away from the bullpen down there. So Braden West just calls time, does his ball boy activities. As we have our next interviewee has just stepped into the commentary box. So as we just change over our microphones here, I believe Tay is just going to hand over here. We have the BQ board member for game development. We have Mr. David Badke stepping into the commentary box for a short interview here. Welcome, David.
Hey, Matt, how are you, mate?
I'm good. As we have a nice play made there by Miller. Ball just squeezing over the top of the pitcher's mound. So Eddie is safe at first, but they get the out there at second base.
So they get the out on Tim Preston.
Yes, out on Tim, yes.
Yep, and Crotty at first. It's replacing him if you like. So one out, but replaced by the runner at first in the shape of Eddie Crotty. That brings to the plate Billy Richters. So, David, I think your microphone's on. We'll say hello. And as far as this competition goes, the Futures League is panning out to be very good at the moment. This is a great game tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Into the competition 4 weeks in, and these guys that are getting stronger week by week. It's really good with the time of the year they're in, and for them to come out in week 4, and tonight's example, the Yardbirds have been. The first 3 weeks they're 0-3, but they've been competing and just taking, missing that opportunity in the past weeks. But, tonight they've turned that around and they're grabbing that opportunity and they're competing and, against the Assassins who are, I think they're 1-1. So
yeah, absolutely. And Assassins have been showing very strong results each week, battling away, close games.
Oh, they have. They seem to go off to a bit of a slow start in the first couple of weeks, but. Then they sort of get into their groove and get going, and the hitters' timing start get going, and they've kept them in and grabbed the opportunity to get a couple of wins.
And nobody's drifted away from week 1, where it was just in its infancy, absolutely in its infancy. I can't say it.
Infancy,
baby
yes.
shape.
So,
but everybody was finding their feet. Coaches, managers, umpires, everybody. It's settled into a rhythm now, and this is evidence of it here tonight.
Oh, absolutely. It's like I said, it's the guys in the conditioning are where they're at. Week on week they're going to get stronger. The pitchers' velos are going to continue to increase. Hitters' timing and their rhythm is going to get better every week.
Well, when we bring the clock back, I know week 1 we were getting 80s, weren't we? I think it was about maximum pitch speed.
Yeah, we had a couple of guys at Valdez, and those guys were hitting sort of 87, 88.
Yeah.
So that was early, and then consistently was sort of around that 80+ mark, 80, 82 bracket.
Yeah.
We had all the equipment just recently on the weekend out at West at Darra. So and the state titles, for the under-16s at Redlands and under-18s over at West. So all the radar guns and everything were preparing and have been over there. So
big weekend of baseball last weekend.
It was a massive weekend.
Yeah.
4 days down at the 16s at Redlands, like I said, and West. Over there for 4 days.
Tay managed to get a couple of games up on
yes, we caught up
on
over
Facebook.
there, and we got some stuff happening there. But it was a big, massive, 4 days of baseball for baseball in Queensland. It's great, and that leads me into the Futures League we've just started. It's just all evolved into Junior League and Senior League now, as
the next group, Senior League, are playing. Is it Friday night, Matt?
So Senior League, yes. I know all about it as the coordinator. So it's been a very fun week for me between that and the GBO, trying to organise everything. So Senior League's Future starts this Friday. So there are games at Mount Gravatt and Runcorn, Friday night 7 o'clock. And then the Junior League, which is pushed back a week, they're starting next week on Wednesday night. They're playing at Mount Gravatt and Southern Stars. So Billy Richter's due the walk, and we now have Scott Fitzgibbon in the box. Harry was just trying to place his runners there, so I'll just fill him in for that one.
Thank you very much, Matt. Crotty at second and Richter's at first. One out here in the top of the fifth inning. Fitzgibbon at the plate. Can he move these runners around for the Assassins?
So if anyone's interested, some baseball. So obviously we also have the Division 1 season starting on Friday night, but if you're more interested in junior baseball, you'll have some games at Mount Gravatt and at Runcorn to participate in and watch as well. So the senior leaguers will be there, ready to go, starting that tournament on Friday night.
Well, I think, Matt, the good thing about the whole concept that we've implemented is a pathway. So we've created a new pathway for our kids that are up and coming to these open guys that are, this guideline for this group, 17 to 24, 25-year-olds. So we've got Junior League that can progress up into the Senior Select and hopefully up into the Opens League here, but it's all draft-based. It's all the same concept.
Exactly, and they all still are able to play with their local club.
Absolutely.
Which is the benefit of the growth of, that's the grassroots, isn't it, where they come from, and then they just start to flourish when they get here.
Yeah, and that was all part of, with the working group, was the minimal or no impact to the clubs. So we want to, we didn't want to impact any club ball with our pitching restrictions and stuff like that. So we're complementing club ball with a draft-based competition of what we're doing here with the Futures League.
And it is a big test, really, of the structure, because there are typical structures that have been in place for years and years and years, and it's a step away from that. But it does create that next layer, as you said, it's a pathway.
Oh, it is, and it's change. So, people can handle change and some can't. But I think for the sport and baseball in Queensland, this is a really good thing, and I think this is something that's going to build week on week and year on year.
A rip to left field there, it will drop. No, it won't. It drops into the glove of shortstop Dom French. Dom French backed up on that and plucked it out of the air. I thought it was going over the back of him. Very deceptive from here, but he did it. Took a great catch.
Especially with the Junior League and Senior League, it allows some of these players, it allows them an extra opportunity. So some of these players that might not be pitching for their club teams, obviously the pitching rules we've got in, it allows these players an extra chance, a little bit more coaching, playing with other players, allows that development for them to progress them with their skills moving forward.
And also to that, it's bridging the gap that's out there. So, within club ball, and that's what club ball's about. It's a good grassroots, it's a good place to start their journey in the baseball, but, to bridge the gap, and typically a draft system will bridge those gaps, and, which should provide, sort of some more depth and more quality baseball week in, week out.
Yeah, in amongst that, you've got, not necessarily in order, but you've got your state level competitions, Little League competitions, Little League rules competitions. You've got Futures League now, and then you've got the grassroots layer feeding all of that. It just creates more opportunity for more players.
Oh, absolutely, and the growth for the sport here, it is starting to slowly rebuild, and we really impressed with the recruitment that the clubs are doing out there, and this is just going to, at the bottom end there, and at the grassroots, and then over time, and that growth is going to start coming through.
Oh, rips that down the third base side. It gets through third baseman Millabell. I think it is out there at third.
It is.
Turned on that one, Althouse.
And Ben Walmsley does a great job in the outfield there of keeping that thing. But also one of the key things with juniors as well is it also involves the Gold Coast clubs. So the Gold Coast clubs play their own competition in juniors. So having these junior league, senior league, futures leagues, it allows those players to come in and play with the players that play in Brisbane and build some extra relationships there themselves as well.
Oh, absolutely, and that's all part of it. Through the draft and what we're talking about, the players are playing with players they've never played with before. They're playing under coaches they've never coached with. So from a whole opportunity perspective and putting them in that type of environment, from an education just alone on how these guys can, we can educate them how to learn and deal with these type of things that can be, that come up against them. So for us and what we're doing from a growth and trying to just implement the new pathway, it's for us it's a win-win.
And different coaches pick up on different things with players as well. So if a player learns 2 things off each coach and they've got 3 coaches, that's big education.
Right. And we all know that 2 or 3 coaches could be having the same conversation with guys, yet one guy can just say it that slightly different way and it connects to the player.
Yep.
So provide them that opportunities to be coached under different guys.
School teachers do the same things. Maths teacher explaining something one way, another one explains it the other. And sometimes it
just
tweaks and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just noticing here just too with the under-18s. So I've noticed a couple of guys here that were on the back of the under-18s on the weekend. So we have a number of players that participated that got picked up in the draft for the Opens Futures League here that are ineligible tonight to be thrown. They're on their day's rest.
Yep.
So
Okay.
we have probably 5-6 guys, I would think, across our 4 teams tonight that are unavailable to pitch because of, they're still on their relevant day's rest.
So Tyson pops that ball up in the infield. Runners do a really good job there. Dom French could not find the ball. We have 2 runners score. So Billy scores from second base, Eddie from first. So we have runners now on first and second with those 2 runs scoring as Brent Elliott goes out to call time.
He might have been appealing an infield fly as well, I think.
He was, but there's 2 out. So sadly, Dom French couldn't be saved there for the infield fly rule. Yeah,
so just quickly back to it. So we have a number of guys on day's rest. So whilst there's still reasonable competition out there, we do have the likes of Hogan and Walmsley and Bell, Wallace.
Who can't throw tonight.
Yeah, who threw. Young Jacob Arnott. Who threw substantial amounts on the weekend on Sunday or Monday, which rules them out tonight. Obviously, we enforce that all our guys comply with the rules in the rest days.
All that does then is give somebody else experience.
Correct, and creates another opportunity for a couple of other guys to grab an opportunity, and that's what we encourage them to do. If you get an opportunity, grab it.
So one of those players that was at the state title, so we have Jackson Grounds coming in here. So Jackson didn't pitch. He pitched early in the tournament, so obviously he's not on his day's rest. So Jackson caught the gold medal match for Brisbane Metro. So one of these quite versatile players that can play across multiple positions. So Jackson comes in to pitch here.
Yeah, he's a bit of a utility at the moment. He gets on the bump. He caught the other day. He's playing in the corners. And on his day on the bump, he's sort of topping up at sort of 89, 90. So he's definitely got a future, and he's on a path at the moment. So he's definitely going to be heading places.
So Matt, we'll just recap there. The runs that scored was Eddie Crotty
and Billy Richters. Yes. So I need to add those runs on the scoreboard while I reach over with my dodgy arm and put them on.
And we've got Althouse at first base.
No, so Althouse is at second and Tyson Zamora is at first.
Aha.
So Tyson is having some words there with as I mentioned before, Keith Land, who got his award recently.
Yep.
So Kalen Van Hilst has now gone to second base as he's come off the mound. And Daniel Turner, I believe, who was there, has potentially gone down to the bullpen now. So we're running out of room here in our lineups, trying to move these players around. But I believe we now have, Kalen Van Hilst is now playing second base.
My pen ran out of ink.
Again, at least you guys have there's pretty good reasons for it because of the titles on the weekend.
Yep.
So a lot of changes and stuff like that, but it's just to accommodate like I said, the relevant day's rest that we need to
and we were talking about some of the players in the regular positions they play. Tonight they've played 3 different positions.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's fine. They become utility players.
Yeah.
So what?
And if they get asked to do something, these guys are going to go and do it. They're not going to, they will sort of just grab it and go and do it. So.
And that is one of the things that this tournament, or the concept of this tournament, it adds in is that a lot of these players do get to play different positions. So for the senior league and the junior league competition, they've only got 11 players in the squad. So with only having 11 players, you're going to have to play positions that you probably aren't used to playing when you rotate around for your pitches. Whereas the Opens here, I think, have 14 per roster.
16.
Thank you. We both looked at each other there trying to remember how many we had in the thing. So yeah.
That's why I've got a working group.
So the Futures League the Opens here have a few more on their rosters, but obviously the Junior League and Senior League having 11 players per team, you're going to find those players in those teams get to play different positions than they used to.
Which is good for the development of all our players. So, it's always good to be developing, giving guys opportunities to pitch, catch, or play other positions that they normally may not get the opportunity. So. Which, again, it all comes to bridging that gap.
Yeah. That's Ben Craig at the plate now facing the pitching of Jackson Grounds.
Like I said, hopefully next week we can get the radar going back and the velo screen up so we can... that's a really good thing when you're sitting at home and you're watching the stream.
Yeah. We're making little changes every week to our camera positions as well, fine-tuning a few things, searching for the ideals. But Craig goes down swinging. That shuts down the attack of the Assassins in this top of the 5th innings, but not until they've added 2 runs to their tally. They are now leading the Yardbirds by 5 runs to 1.
So I'm just going to step out here because we have another interviewee coming in. We have Mr. Shane Watson coming in.
We might have to swap
so
interviewees.
I'm just going to hand over
going to take a commentary position.
Watto's going to come in here and commentate for a second. So
we'll just let Shano hook up there, and once he gets himself positioned, we might turn his microphone on. I'm not sure yet. We'll just see.
He likes a bit of a chat,
I
Watto.
think he's been away on a bit of a breather, hasn't he? Bit of a holiday.
He's been up north. He's
all
been
tanned up and everything.
He's had a great holiday.
All right, we head to the. Welcome aboard. Head to the bottom of the fifth. Righto, Watto, you're on air now, speaking to the rest of the world about the Futures League here. Shane Watson, welcome to the microphone.
Thank you for
Sports
having me.
Broadcasting Australia and the BQ Futures League.
No, thanks for having me.
You've had a little breather. You look fully refreshed, let me tell you. And making me feel better already because I was getting a bit weary. So you and David have been conjuring up a whole lot of stuff here, and you're back fresh, ready and raring to go. And what can you tell us about, you came back and all of this is rolling along really well?
Well, first of all, the holiday was fantastic. 7 days away up at Hamilton Island, so that was good. Just need a bit of a break there, refresh. But no, just straight back into the mix of things. We had our state titles over the weekend. Some good young talent coming through with the 16s and the under 18s. So that's all good, and then we'll gear up for our Queensland program shortly.
Excellent. We'll just start this game off. That should be Jackson Grounds at the plate now. And on the mound, I don't think there's a change.
No, it's still Sipple.
Still Dylan Sipple.
Yep.
We haven't mentioned his name for quite a while, actually. Seems an eternity since they've changed over. So Sipple's still there, and Jackson Grounds seeing if he can make his mark after coming onto the mound for the Yardbirds in the last inning, and getting that last out, the all-important third out. So Grounds leading off here. We're in the bottom of the fifth inning. The Yardbirds need to make up 4 runs to draw level with the Assassins. So captivating here. Little crowd in tonight, not too bad actually. Last week was a bit different. Last week it was an odd game, and it was a smallish crowd wandering around, but very slow game last week for some reason. Nobody can really put their finger on it. But
I was over at over Carina last week, and there was decent crowd over there too. There's one thing I have noticed is quite a lot of young players starting to come out. So a lot of wearing their uniform. I know Carina was doing a deal with come out in uniform and get a free sausage sizzle and stuff. So probably thank Carina too while I got the opportunity for the first 3 weeks that we held over there. They did a great job in their canteen and preparing maintenance of the field and getting it ready each week. And also thank they've moved over to Pine Rivers tonight. So the other game happening as we speak is happening over at Pine Rivers tonight. So
we haven't had an update from them. Are they on
No, I'm
live
not
score?
sure.
I guess they'd be on. We'll have a look at that shortly, and we'll see if we can do that. And
I
get that
know
for you.
about an innings and a half ago, I know the Jethawks were leading the Lumberjacks 2-0.
Okay,
But
another
that-
close one.
But
Another arm wrestle. Grounds at first base. You will have seen that on your cameras. That brings to the plate Liam Taylor. So Taylor steps in now. A runner at first. None out here. We're in the bottom of the fifth. Assassins leading the Yardbirds 5-1. They got a breakout couple of runs there in the top of the fifth. Let's see if the Yardbirds can add to their tally.
So it looks like Watto's just got it up on the screen here, the live score, and going looks like through 6, the Jethawks are still leading 2-0 over the Lumberjacks. So
Okay, good contest all round.
yeah, well, the Lumberjacks have got off to a great start. They're 3-0 in the first 3 weeks, and Philly Overlack running that team over there, and those guys have been responding to him. But Pete Garn's team over there with the Jethawks are obviously competing pretty well tonight, and they hold on for another innings. They'll get away with it.
Experience of the coaches too. Like those coaches have been around for years, and they're passing on that knowledge. And we just saw Liam Taylor go down on strikes, bringing to the plate Ryan Woodrow. And runner is locked in.
I think what I might want to talk about the state squads are going to be announced later this week from the state titles this week. So we were out there on the weekend, as I mentioned earlier, and sort of piecing together those couple of squads.
Yeah, so we're going to, name 2 squads, one for under 16s and one for under 18s. Unfortunately, we have no nationals again in January, but fortunately we get to run another showcase again like we did last year.
How many players will be in those squads?
Yeah, so we're looking at having 2 squads of about 16 to 18 players. So two teams with under 16s, 2 teams with under 18s. So that's where the fortunate side of things, we get to include more young players in the program as opposed to just the one team going away to the Nationals. So yeah, as much as it is unfortunate that we can't go away to the Nationals, it is quite fortunate that we can include more younger guys and girls in the program, so which is good.
Is it likely, do you think, that the Nationals might be moved to mid-year next year, or they'll just cancel them this year and move to 12 months ahead?
Yeah, so the under 18s, so they'll still stick in January, potentially the year after.
Okay.
There is talk about maybe doing something for the under 16s, potentially middle of the year for a national championships there.
Or the Easter or winter time or something.
Yeah, that June, July school break. So
if it was winter, they'd have to have it in Queensland, wouldn't they?
Pushing for it.
That'd be the go.
Gold Coast is good. Although I was up at Hamilton Island last week, trying to get a baseball field up there. Nah.
Hurt me now. Ground ball, shortstop, on it. Does he turn it? Yes, he does. He gets the first half, misses the second half of the double play. Well picked there. That was Billy Richter's, I think, turning it to Ben Craig. I don't think they changed, but they get Jackson Grounds on the 6-4. First half of the double. They don't get the second half. Ryan Woodrow safe at first. So
Also,
fielder's choice.
I want to shout out too, just the officials as well, getting on board with this competition as well. Like we had the working group that's come together, and which Watto was part of, and a few other people that have come together. But also want to thank the umpires, the officials. So for this to be successful, we need the officials out there, and it's great for them to come on board. And we talk about players.
Oh, he's put it down.
We talk about players, and giving them opportunities, but it's the same with our officials. And it's great to see young Braden West out here behind the dish tonight, and
doing a good job.
He's doing a really good job.
He's very clear with everything he does.
Very clear, and he's being consistent, and that's part of all you ask from the officials. But it's great to see them on board with the Futures League and them grabbing this opportunity, to get out here and get on their development pathway as well.
So we just saw that possible catch on the infield put down. I'm not sure if it was Billy Richter's over there. Ben Craig. Was Ben Craig going from second base? I saw Billy Richter's. He was way over this side. Saw him walking back. I thought it couldn't have been him from there. So that did put Ryan Woodrow at third base now. So with runners on the corners, Jay Myers is on first base. And at the plate we should have Kalen Van Hilst. No, we don't. It's 15.
The other bullpen. That's one from each bullpen tonight.
So who's 15?
Yeah, Chancellor Kalen's batting,
Doing Kalen Van Hilst.
Oh, just got his wrong number down. Okay, so runners on the corners, only one out here in the bottom of the fifth. Opportunity knocks for the Yardbirds. Can they create some runs out of this? We will see. So with the officials, you mentioned the umpires, 3-person system, 3-umpire system. They don't often get an opportunity to do that. We see it at ABL level, but certainly now they're getting experience because, as you would know, totally different positions on every play. Who's got responsibility for which base, which ball, which fence, which line, whichever. Everywhere it's different. The 2-man system, a 3-man system are vastly different from each other. So that's good to see. And as you said, the developing umpires coming through. Great experience for them as well. And I'm impressed with the numbers that are turning up for the community umpiring courses that are being run around the clubs. There was 44 graduated from here, I think, 4 weeks ago. 44 new umpires. That's sensational. Unbelievable numbers.
No, they're doing a fantastic job. Run a whole bunch of courses. It's a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago actually, out here at All Stars.
It gets away, doesn't it?
It does. And I know they're doing a few others around other clubs and getting some healthy numbers there as well. Well, it's good hit.
I'll rip to centre field. One hopper.
Oh, good base running.
Charge to third. Good base running. 1 run crosses. They just replace each other. So Woodrow crosses for an additional run for the Yardbirds. Takes them to 2 now. And Jay Myers turns the corner well at second base. Great base running is what I said. He stands at third. First base, Van Hilst. So still runners on the corners with 1 out here for the Yardbirds. And now the Assassins manager comes out and they'll have a little chat. Must be getting a little nervous, I would say. A bit of pressure being turned back on. They still lead the game by 5 runs to 2, so they've got a handy lead. But it is a bit of danger time here for the Assassins, with the Yardbirds putting some pressure on. 1 out, 2 runners on again. Daniel Turner coming to the plate.
I think they're going to go to Nick's going to go down to the pen. I think it's young Maxim Watson, young lefty coming out to replace Dylan.
And that could also be on pitch count as well for Dylan Sipple.
Potentially, yeah, he could have got to his
could be up
his
near
limit.
his limit.
Yep, absolutely. And that's the other key, Harrow, that we had was that not to impact the club ball. And the local Division 1 starts this weekend.
I think they're on 45 here or something.
That's the max, yeah, 45 pitches.
Yeah.
So they work off a day's rest. So Wednesday, and then we're not impacting the local Division 1 on the Friday night or the Sunday, the weekend competitions. That's the same as the young ones too on the Senior League and Junior League.
Div 1 starting this Friday night.
Correct.
That came around quicker than I thought.
Yeah. So the young group 2 are all on sort of pitch count limits. So those guys are working up to 30, I think it is, where there's no day's rest. So one of the key things we've got the working group that always factor in is minimal and no impact to the club ball.
Yeah, absolutely. So a nice standout red hat. The Carina cap comes into play. That we've seen a few of those. That's the other little link into that system, is that the players are using their club caps, which is good recognition as well of the system they're part of.
Yeah, it's actually interesting, and with the working group we've actually got some hats on order, and I'm sure that's been mentioned in the earlier weeks. And with there are some delays with stuff coming in from overseas with COVID related and delays. There's everything there, so just something we've got to deal with. And the working group come up with everyone wear their club hats.
Yep.
Which is actually what you've just said. It's actually turned out quite well. So it identifies the players and to what local club and community club they're with.
Little bit akin to an All-Star series.
Yeah, so it actually looks quite good with the new strip they got going last week, and with their club hat, it actually looks quite good.
Yeah.
But in saying that, I'm really excited for the new Futures League logo and the new hats. And
I think the experiment, if I could call it, for this year probably bodes well for next year.
Yeah, and we're actually doing it with the juniors, so Junior League and Senior League Futures League. That's what they're actually doing that for the entire year. So they're going to be wearing their club hats to identify, their local community clubs. So they and then they'll go into the BA Academy jersey that these guys wore. And some other young Queensland Bandit, jerseys as well for the young Junior League.
Right, we're going to take a short break. We'll come back. Oh no, batter's coming up. We'll stay here. Sorry, Nick. Nick McGowan Christie, our technical producer. I nearly threw him off there completely. Sorry, Nick. Get me later. So stepping in should be Daniel Turner, and it is. Turner steps in to face the fresh pitching of Maxim Watson.
We'll see if he can capitalise here early after that good base running by Jay, getting a third base with 1 out.
Ground ball, shortstop's on it. Billy Richter's that is, I believe, and can't get the out at second. Billy Richter's got across to that. I thought he did well getting across to the ball in the first place and cutting it off.
No, it was good. He had a good hard first step to start off with, and just a little bit of an awkward hop there. I think he maybe tried to throw the ball before he fielded it, but as I said, it was a good read initially to at least keep the ball in front.
So Jay Myers would have scored. Correct?
Correct.
So we just got a score update from the other field with the Jethawks held on and took that game tonight over at Pine Rivers. 2 runs to nil, with the Lumberjacks recording no hits tonight, and the Jethawks obviously control that game over there. So
2-0 game and it's over.
It's all over, and the Lumberjacks go to 3-1, and I believe Jethawks have gone 2-1. I think their win-loss record will be now.
Wow. Well, Yardbirds fighting back here. It's about 5 minutes to 9. We've still got about half hour of play left if we need it, and we will. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Yardbirds through the bat of... Who's here? That's Cuffin Williams. All right. David, thanks very much for joining us. we look forward to seeing you on the microphone again
No,
sooner or later.
Thanks for having me,
And,
and hope everyone continues to enjoy the entertainment these guys are putting on out there. So thank you.
Certainly will. Well done. Thank you very much. And Tay will just suit up again. And once she's up, we'll do that. And Watto's still with us here, and he gets you out on the number 18. I think it's Cuffin Williams goes down on strikes. So that will bring up the third out. And it is the Yardbirds scoring 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning. And after 5 completed here from Bannister Park, it is the Assassins 5 runs, leading the Yardbirds 3.
Baseball. It starts with a glove and a ball. No matter where you start, where you play, or where the game takes you, you're still just playing ball.
What a moment for Luke Hughes. What a moment for Australia.
Join in the fun today. Visit baseball.com.au to find your local club.
And welcome back to the action at Bannister Park, where we head to the top of the 6th inning. And leading off, Franco Natali against the pitching of Jackson Grounds. Grounds came in with 2 out in the 5th inning. And back on now with Natali at the plate. And it's now a 2-run ball game, 5-3. Yardbirds are trailing the Assassins. So, Watto, you've enjoyed a good bit of baseball here tonight. It's good watching these young guys go around. And nice, from my point of view, that the scores are now getting a little bit narrower. A 2-run ball game is a good ball game. Everybody's still in it. Whee! That was a wrong and came out of the hands of Grounds there.
Exactly right. You get good close competition every game. It brings out that competitive edge on everyone. Everyone's focused in on every pitch in every game. So we always want those close games. This one's turned out to be, which is good.
Absolutely. We've talked about umpires and we've talked about scorers. I'd like to mention the condition of the grounds here today. I seem to constantly be bumping into somebody who's working on this field when I get here early in the day and set a few things up and disappear again. This morning the guy had already been in, mowed the infield, mowed the outfield, did everything. It was just meticulous. And I was bringing some equipment in to get it all set up for the day, and he just said, yeah, it's really good. He's looking forward to it getting better and better and better.
No, the infield looks magic. I was out here earlier this morning just to drop off some gear out the shed that we have out here with our equipment.
Yeah.
And I just had a quick glimpse at the infield, and I'm like, yeah, Adam's doing a really good job out there, and he's done a really good job with the edges at the moment, so they look pretty sharp, but nice and flat too, so which is good. And the surface is nice and green.
Natali down on strikes for the first out, and that brings to the plate Scott Cronin. And the first week before game number 1, I think he was here for 2 days straight, and it was fantastic.
No, Adam did a really good job. A couple of days before this league started, he said he hammered out for about 2 days straight and just got in and fixed it all up and looking good.
I was here putting in cabling, and I can tell you he worked real hard, and it was nice sunny weather as well. He knew he was out there, but gee, he did a good job. So that's another example of like the level of club grounds that these kids, I'll call them, are playing at in the local grounds, and then they get to come to the next level up of playing surface and playing conditions, which is good. Cronin fouls another one off.
We'll see if Jackson can get a quick inning here. See if they can swing the momentum back in their favour after scoring that run last inning.
Yeah, it would be handy. It would give them enthusiasm. And we always talk about momentum shift in a game.
Yep.
The Assassins had the momentum in the second and third. And Yardbirds prizing that momentum back again. He's got one out so far. One up, one down. And there's two of them.
It's a great tribute to the fact that this is the top of the leaderboard and the bottom of the leaderboard, and they're so close.
Yes.
So there's a lot of depth out there.
Back-to-back strikeouts for grounds. That brings Tim Preston in.
Exactly right. I mean, also too, you look at the arms that we've got coming through, and throughout the league here. Any given day, any given game, you got to be prepared for a close game no matter what, right? So even though you got the top of the table, bottom of the table right now, you just don't know.
That hit the catcher's fair in the helmet.
That's why he's got it on.
Sounded like it cracked it open.
The umpire should just give him a little pat on the back there for protecting him. That's the other job a catcher is responsible for, of course, protect the umpire. If you don't, he might not be your friend.
You may not get the calls you're after. those edges may no longer be there for you.
I know there had been, back in the old days, the bad old days, if an umpire wasn't calling what the catcher thought was strikes, he'd just tell his pitcher to throw a fastball straight and he'd let it go through to the umpire and hit him. That used to happen, believe it or not.
Speaking of being hit, there's a hit by pitch.
That wasn't in Queensland, by the way. That was in New South Wales. So he gets on, hit by pitch. Yeah, I was witness to one of those one day and I was just amazed. It was my early days, if you like. And I thought, why didn't the catcher attempt to catch that? I thought, I see.
None of that here, though.
No, of course not. No. I haven't seen it since then, actually, and that was a long time ago.
I think genuinely, at the moment, these boys are working really hard at every single pitch. So,
umpires do a great job. Yeah. This is Eddie Crotty taking a swing at the fastball from grounds. He put a little bit of heat on that one, a little bit extra, got it right down in the bottom half of the zone. Ed Crotty swinging at that one hard, but if he makes contact on a fastball like that, it will fly. It will travel.
And Jackson's one of our young guys with a pretty lively arm.
He was so fast on the weekend.
Yeah, we had the radar gun out there, so he was getting up in the higher 80s.
I know he works out a bit.
Yeah, he's a hard worker. Yes, he
Works
definitely
out
is a hard
pretty
worker. Doesn't miss a session. Every time we have a session, he's always there. So,
Right.
Yep.
Hungry for the game. Let's see where we go now with his pitch count. Crotty's ready. Grounds is ready. Time call. Whee, there it is. He nearly caught it. Not. Ed Crotty calling time there because he was holding the bat up for too long. It's his prerogative. It's a strategy that a pitcher will use.
And the outfield shifted to opposite field for Eddie. So if Jackson stays away,
Yeah, he gets ground ball to shortstop. Oh no, bobbled it. Can he get it at first? No, he cannot. Wow, missed opportunity there by the Yardbirds. Shortstop, I think, is Dom French at the moment. Just couldn't get a handle on that one. It's hard hit ground ball.
With a force to two, it was right there in front of him.
Yeah, you got to get the ball first though.
Yes.
Can't get the out if you
It was
don't
still
got
good
the
that
ball.
he had to try it first, though.
Well, he's got to back that up. His only opportunity was to get it cleanly to first, but that would have been a magic throw if he had have got that out. Bit of a bobble, that's all it takes. It's a game of inches, baseball. So now Crotty at first on a fielder's choice. At 6, Tim Preston. Yeah. Hard hit ball to 6. I won't try and score it. I'm not a scorer. Foul ball over the right field side into the car park from Billy Richter's. I remember broadcasting at Runcorn. Billy Richter's was playing Little League, I think, in a championship. He would have been, 11 or 12 years old.
Yeah, in Little League, yeah.
Yeah, that was a while ago. And now he's in the 18s, or he's in that age group, the under 18s. So that means it was a few years ago. So Richter steps in again now with 2 runners on, first and second base, 2 out.
Oh, they're running.
There's 2 out. That was no distraction for them. That's coach putting pressure on with the 2 outs. He's got to try and build some buffer, if you like. They only trail by 2 runs. If Jackson Grounds and the Yardbirds can get this out, it would be magic for them.
They really need to get this one so that they defensively keep these runs from coming in.
Yeah. Now you see there he's backed Richter's off the plate a little. Hopefully he'll stay back off the plate and Grounds can throw something outside edge on the black and maybe get him swinging. That may be part of the plan. Yep. Gets the out. Well called by the umpire and well thought out by Jackson Grounds and his catcher Jay Myers. Don't forget, catcher's calling the shots here and Myers gets that out with the help of Grounds throwing it outside edge. So that is the 3rd out. They leave 2 runners stranded, the Assassins. With 3 out, no runs scored. They remain on 5. So halfway through the 6th innings, it's the Assassins leading the Yardbirds by 5 runs to 3, with the Yardbirds coming to the plate.
And as we return here, we have Maxim Watson still on the mound, and we have Dom French coming in to bat. Maxim just getting a good footing there in his feet, stamping that mound down. One thing I hate as a person does grounds is pitchers that do that. Stamp the ground, dig stuff out.
Wreck the field.
Yep.
You get those guys to go and help maintain the field. They don't do it as much.
So just gets the outside corner there for strike 1. Nice solid call there again from Braden West, showing his experience, working his way up here.
So have any of the fielder positions for the Assassins changed since the last innings?
No. Looking around the field now, no.
They're pretty set in their positions.
They are indeed, yeah. So just talking to some of the guys there before. So the bench players for the Assassins. So you've got 2 of them are recovering from pitching on the weekend at state titles, and one of them has a sore arm. So there's only one player that hasn't come in the game yet that's available, I would say, from the Assassins. Or he could be injured as well. So
that fly ball was taken by centre field. That's Tyson Zamora.
Yes.
Yeah. He seemed to just walk straight in and just take that ball easily. So
Tyson's 21, 22?
20.
20.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's why I said he played. He definitely did play.
I thought he might have played. His sister played in the Queensland side.
He was there, but he didn't play.
Ah, yeah, okay. So I saw him and then I thought maybe he was playing.
No. Younger sister Tamika Zamora in our Open Women's Queensland squad. So yeah, they were competing at the under-18 state titles this weekend, which is pretty good.
Then you also had the BQ girls playing under 16. So the two girls teams playing in titles as well, which is a good sign.
Yeah, we started that a couple of years ago, putting our women's program and our girls program into the state titles, and it's been pretty well received. And the girls love the challenge and give them an opportunity to play other positions in the field, get to pitch a little bit more and what have you. So.
Well, it used to be that the girls only could be like 1 or 2 positions in boys' teams, and now we've got the women's league, which doesn't seem like much, but and it's fairly social. There's a competitive side and a social side, so that's okay. But the girls, instead of when they come up through rookies and little leagues, instead of them going, oh, okay, there's nothing else for me now, I'll go off and do something else, they now can aim for those Queensland sides and play in these highly competitive titles, which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. And we have Lisa Norrie, who's the head coach of our Open Women's team, doing a fantastic job. Jeff Wade oversees our youth girls teams and squads, and he does a great job as well. So just providing the additional opportunities for them to get on the field and playing positions that they may not have an opportunity to, but also too, I mean, just the social aspect of it as well. So get to play with their peers a lot more, and just build that community within our women's side of sport.
And now with the Bandits having a women's team, there's something to aim for.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, watching that series last week, good play. So watching that series last year, fantastic. They can get that up and going last year, which was awesome.
So Millabell just grounds out there to Ben Craig. So Ben took his time getting that ball, got up with it, made a throw. That is the second out of the innings, and that brings up our pitcher. We have Jackson Grounds coming up to bat now. So Maxim doing a good job here on the mound. 2 quick outs here.
He's got a high leg lift, hasn't he?
He does,
for
Maxim. Yeah, no, he gets that leg up there, try to produce as much power as he can.
Almost up to his shoulder. It's quite high. Matt's looking for specific details or laughing at something here.
Just another email.
That's all right. I think Matt gets like all sorts of comments sent to him personally.
It was just one of the emails from my coaches thanking Shane something you done earlier today. So about the team app for us was just a coach saying thank you is all it was. So I thought it was an important email, but it wasn't. Just a thank you for Shane for helping us out with the senior league futures.
The team app, man, I've been working on that all week.
So thankfully this email to now was just a nice easy one. But yeah.
So you're doing the whole of seniors futures, is that right?
I'm sadly the coordinator for the senior league futures.
Not sadly.
No, it is. This last
right?
couple of weeks has been interesting between that and that my role as GBL chairman. So many emails coming in and correspondence sending out and keeping up to date with things. It's been interesting.
Busy time of the year for you, mate.
Absolutely.
That's why I avoided you there on Sunday, because I made sure on Monday, because I didn't want to go. I just wanted to go and watch some baseball for once, not get anything else.
Camouflaging himself in the trees so he didn't get picked up to do our live broadcast for the finals.
So Maxim just missing an outside corner there. That is a 2-2 count to Jackson here.
Were you there for the finals, Shane?
Yes,
it
under
was
18s.
Unbelievable, wasn't it? Tie game, and off it went.
And they're checking it 3 out there. So Braden rings up that pitch on the outside corner for the strikeout to end the innings. So that is a strikeout. So 3 up, 3 down there for Maxim as we go into the top of the 7th. Any last word, Shane? Was you going to say anything?
No, just no, thanks for having me up here. It was enjoyable. I'm sure we'll be up here again at some point. I'll be out here on the Wednesday nights here. So, no, I appreciate you guys what you're doing up here, which is fantastic. All the effort and getting the word out there and getting the footage out there, which is good to see. And actually, I tuned in last week to check it out and see how things were travelling. So it was good. So, no, thank you to you guys.
All right, thanks, Shane. We'll catch
See
you
you on
later.
the field.
Baseball. It starts with a glove and a ball. No matter where you start, where you play, or where the game takes you, you're still just playing ball.
What a moment for Luke Hughes. What a moment for Australia.
Join in the fun today. Visit baseball.com.au to find your local club.
And as we return here, we are now going into the top of the 7th innings. Assassins leading 5-3, and we have Scott Fitzgibbon up at the plate.
It's exciting having all of these Queensland coaches come up because we get to hear all sorts of inside information about players and what's happening and what's coming up. So I think the Yardbirds are doing a fantastic job here of holding them a bit at bay. Just wish they'd get a couple of runs in to bring it up, but I'm sure that they will try their best in this inning to get them out.
So strike called there on Scott. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep up to date. I was a few innings behind, so I was just updating my play-by-play. So Scott tonight has a sacrifice bunt, a walk, and a fly ball to the shortstop. And we have a slow roller to third base there. And Scott gets the infield single to third base. So for a big guy, got down the line very quickly. So for tonight, Scott now has an infield single, and a sacrifice bunt. I'm sure he'll be clipping these when he gets home to show that he actually can beat out infield singles. So well done there to Scott. So with a runner on first base, we now have Brenton Outhouse coming up to bats.
Oh, different Scott. Oh, we seem to have a runner for...
We have a pinch runner coming in. That is Cooper Thompson, I believe, coming in as our pinch runner for Scott. So Cooper's one of his players before, so I chatted to Cooper just before when I was off the microphone. Not pitching tonight, it's going to be a sore arm, but can come in and run here for Scott. After Scott beats that play out, we have a pinch runner for him over at first base. As we welcome Harrow back into the box. It was Harrow's turn for a break off the microphone as we welcome Harrow back to the box.
Thank you very much, Matt. I just had to have a little leg stretch and negotiate the stairs up and down. Make everything move again.
One of the good things having these interviews, we only have 3 microphones, so when someone comes to interview, one of us gets a break for a second. So worked really well before when Watto came up because we had 2 interviews, so 2 of us for the microphones for a second there. So
Yeah, that was interesting. Watto does look too refreshed to me, though. I want a holiday like that one.
Yeah, Hamilton Island sounds wonderful.
Yeah,
They can sponsor us anytime, right?
absolutely.
And Jackson gets the strikeout there on the outside corner. Nice call by Braden West. That is the first out. And that takes us back to the top of the order for Tyson Zamora. This is his 5th at-bat of the night. Tyson so far is 1 for 2. So he has a fly ball to start the game, and then has a sacrifice fly and a walk so far. So this is his 5th plate appearance, but only his 3rd at-bat.
Wow. Statistics. Baseball game of statistics. Absolutely
some
amazing.
statistics there, people that might be listening, paying attention. Some oddities you see in the game of baseball.
I didn't mention our camera operator Rodney Reed before, I don't think, but I will mention him now. All of that tracking camera shots that you've seen. Rod's down there, firmly ensconced in the grandstand this week, as I said, and getting some better shots.
Back in the warmth of the grandstand, shall we say.
The warmth of the outdoor stand. The bleacher.
Mm.
I like the way the plate umpire holds just for a second, confirms his thinking, and then makes the call. Very clear. A lot of umpires do it that
And
way.
we
it's
can
good.
hear him still in here.
Yeah,
So
that's one of the good things for Braden. I will give him a shout out here. So he's one of those umpires that does that. Takes his time, is always very clear and vocal with his calls, and also clear with his signals. So for scorers at umpiring, as you saw with him calling time there, very clear, very vocal.
I think he heard us.
Very obvious to know what's going on. So
good methodology.
I'll probably get a message from him next week when I hit. I got one last week when I called him the lesser West, so I'm sure I'll throw a positive message out for him this week. So
at least he's not the Wild West.
So yeah, so one of these younger umpires has been progressing through. As we have
delayed steal, nice work.
Delayed steal there by Cooper, showing off the reason why he came in as a pinch runner.
Zamora did a nice little "I did it" signal.
Jackson Grounds, who plays with Cooper, having a bit of a chuckle there at him, still on the base off him. So Cooper now moves over to second base.
So is that's Cooper.
Cooper Thompson is now running there. Yeah, so he came in for Scott Fitzgibbon.
Oh, of course he did. Yep.
So Scott reached the infield signal, and then Cooper Thompson ran for him, gets the stolen base there. So runner in scoring position now for Tyson Zamora. I think it is a 2-2 count.
Again, we see the Assassins manager saying we just need more runs. We just want another run for a safety buffer. Because 2-run lead, not a big lead, even though we're in the last inning.
Don't want to get it right to the last minute and then just be overtaken.
I think I've said in the first week I was in Atlanta between the Braves and the Dodgers, a game that went 17 innings, I think it was, and we got home at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Painful.
Yeah, and
how could you have that many pitches?
Braves were leading.
Gosh.
And it was, I think, the bottom of 8 or something, and Dodgers got their runs at the top of the 9th, and away we went. We were packed up, stood up, ready to go.
As Cooper starts running there, trying to steal that base, hit and run was on. As that ball, with some confusion there between second base and right field, that ball drops in. As we have a hidden ball trick attempt by Dom French there at shortstop. So again, Dom plays with Cooper. Those two guys are very close friends. So that's why there's a bit of a giggle there. If you can see on the camera, the two of them know each other really well. So Dom trying to trick Cooper, didn't quite get away with it. So runners on first and second base now.
Plays like that are coach killers, aren't they?
Indeed.
Do you think that ball got caught in the lights, or you just think
No.
that they just didn't call it?
Just didn't call it.
Oh,
No,
right.
communication breakdown.
Crazy.
It was a song.
But yeah, tying into
Back
what
in the old
Harrow was
days.
saying there, that was one of the things that was getting close to happening there on Monday at the state titles, the gold medal match. As there's no game lights at Darra, the game was getting close. I believe it was 5:30 around the game finish time. I know that because I'd be somewhere at 6. I was hoping the game finished in time, and I happened to get it finished time and get to my place at 6. So yeah, so just got the game finished in time before they lost the light.
So that was a single to 4, I guess.
I gave it a single to 9 because the right fielder picked it up.
Oh, did he? Did he really? He did well getting there.
And a spin move there by Jackson, again with a big giggle on his face, keeping Cooper close. The 3 of those guys out there. So Jackson, Cooper and Dom having a great time, messing around with each other.
And that can't be an error. Tay, because nobody caught it. Nobody touched it.
See, you say that, Harrow, but a scorer errored me on a similar play.
I can tell you the coaches are going to have words about that.
They will. But as far
as
as
much as
statistics go,
that's
as far as
right.
statistics and the scorebook goes, technically, not an error.
I got errored on a similar play to that. A ball hit to left field, actually. I was the left fielder, and the scorers errored me.
Ooh.
Didn't thank him well enough, obviously. So Benny Craig batting here again. Another guy that's quite close. So Jackson, the pitcher, and with Cooper and Dom there. So Ben is also at Windsor Royals.
That might not happen again, with the scorers, because you have given them a rap absolutely every week rock solid during these broadcasts.
And Dom strikes out there. Sorry for the miscount on the scoreboard. Too busy chatting away here. So we have 2 out now. And that brings up Franco Natali.
Oh, he's one of the better hitters in the whole league, so they're going to want to be very careful with this pitch.
2 out, 2 runners on. They only need 1 out.
One of the parents I was sitting with there at the state titles has sent me a message. I'm not going to say that, Tony.
Oh, no.
A ground ball will get them the out and turn the Assassins around, so the Yardbirds can make a desperate attempt in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, so if you ever do have any messages, feel free to use the chat in YouTube. We do monitor every now and then. If you've got any comments, any questions,
that can be
read out.
Otherwise, we will have somebody blocking them.
Or if you can, if you have either of our numbers or contacts, you can always send us a message on here.
Yeah.
I will say probably most people in Brisbane baseball have access to my number, the emails I've sent out to people.
Sounds dangerous.
I used to give mine out and get a lot of SMSs, which was all good, all positive, but haven't done that during these broadcasts because everybody knows you, Matt.
It's dangerous as it is. So obviously I was teaching last couple of years. This year I'm not currently teaching, but the problem is if students searched my name up because of my job as weather contact, they could find my number. So that's been changed, so it's now just my first name. And Dom makes a great play across the diamond there. Cuffin holds on for the ball. Cooper tried to fake him out, but Dom gets the throw across, and that ends the inning with the 3rd out there. So score remains 5-3 to the Assassins as we head into the bottom of the 7th. And as we return here for the bottom of the 7th, Yardbirds trailing by 2 runs. We have Liam Taylor coming up to bat as the leadoff hitter.
Last roll of the dice for the Yardbirds. 2 runs will tie it up.
And then we go to extra innings. So if the scores remain tied after this innings, because it is at the 2.5 hour mark, this will be the end of the game. There's no extra innings here.
Okay.
Extra innings will only be played if it was within the time limit.
And then it would be international tiebreaker rules.
I don't actually know
I think
the
that's
answer.
what it
Yes.
says.
So that's runner on second base only,
Correct. Yes, that's right.
which is the thing at the state titles. The state titles played runners on first and second, so it's always confusing trying to remember which tiebreaker rule is in place in different situations.
And they definitely needed it. Thank goodness they had that. That's all I can say. They needed that. And they won by 2. And that was the 2 runners.
Yeah, Metro scored 2 runs in the 9th, and that was enough to get them the win. I think it was 8-6, I think the final score may have been.
It was.
And we got the final score from the other ground, didn't we?
Yeah, it was 2-0, so it was a no-hitter.
Hawks over the Lumberjacks.
So 2 runs on 1 hit. So there was 1 hit in 7 innings.
Wow.
I think maybe the pitch count affecting from the titles probably affected the Jethawks, the Lumberjacks, sorry, in that case, because the Lumberjacks have really been ahead with everything.
Yeah,
William Taylor out.
Yep, on the strikeout there. So yeah, there was 1 hit across all, what's that, 13 and a half innings. Yeah, final score 2-0 to the Jethawks. So Liam Taylor striking out there for the first out. That brings up our right fielder, Ryan Woodrow.
And was that at Pine Rivers?
Pine Rivers, yes. So they're playing at Pine Rivers tonight. So Pine Rivers has come back into Division 1 GBL tonight this season. So they have a new clubhouse, new canteen, new facilities up there. So tonight was one of their first opportunities, I think, to use the new facility. And they also have games there, I believe, this weekend. So Friday night will be their sort of season opener, new clubhouse opening, new canteen, new facilities. So if you're around the area, feel free to jump up there and go and watch the game.
We've got also not forget the live baseball brought to you by BQ's partners, Baseball Queensland partners, with My Ball Club Live Score software. That's the Live Score software, is My Ball Club Live Score software, created by Michael Zambelli in San Diego, California. And of course, membership and competitions software is from Sports Club HQ, and that's from Jace Farmer on the Gold Coast. So 2 great partners there with Baseball Queensland. We thank you very much.
And Maxim gets that outside corner there for the strikeout. Really well pitched there. So that is the second out of the inning. So 2 strikeouts here. So that is Maxim's 3rd strikeout, I believe. If I've got my changes in here correct, I think that's his 3rd strikeout.
Yep.
So he's faced 5 batters, five batters up, 5 batters down. And we have Jay Myers coming up here. So Jay tonight has a walk, a double, and a catch as he hits that ball to Billy at shortstop. Billy throws it across, and Scott Cronin digs that ball out. That is the final out. And that is the end of the game here. So Assassins hold their lead in that last innings. Final score is 5-3 to the Assassins over the Yardbirds.
It certainly is, and what a big night of baseball here from Bannister Park in Hendra. Hendra. Nelly was going Hedron. Yeah. So Hendra, the home of the All-Stars Baseball Club. Big night of baseball here with the Assassins. As Matt said, the Assassins 5 runs, Yardbirds 3. In the other game tonight of Futures League, it was at Pine Rivers, and it was the Jethawks 2 beating the Lumberjacks 0. Big thank you to everybody here on the team, of course, producer and switching cameras and all that sort of stuff, all the technical stuff, the promos and everything. Nick McGowan, Christy, thank you very much, Nick. Another great night of baseball. Our camera operator doing all the tracking there of the plays that he could pick up, Rodney Reed. And in commentary, of course, Matt Glasson, co-commentator here extraordinaire, the play-by-play specialist and colour man as well. Tay O'Keefe also adding lots of colour and comments and helping with interviews as well, ground conditions, lineups, the whole lot. Tay's done a great job for us. And, of course, I'm Paul Harradine, a.k.a. Harrow, from Sports Broadcasting Australia. Have a wonderful night. We look forward to you spreading the word about the broadcast and live streaming, and hopefully tune in again next Wednesday night from just before 7 o'clock for the next round of Futures League Baseball. Goodbye.
Thank you,
for now.
everybody. Goodbye.
Good night.